Hey, what's up everyone, welcome to a brand new video. This video is something that I thought I should make for the new players of Overwatch, but also for all of those OG players that feel like they are stuck in their current rank. And I know some people will say that I'm a new player as well, but I'm already at a higher rank than some people who have been playing this game for over 5 years now. But this video is aimed for those people who truly want to improve. If you truly want to become a better player and not have this reaction whenever you see a master or GM player on their lobby, it comes down to a lot of factors, but the first one would be what role of hero catches your eye the most. I started playing support but slowly transitioned to DPS. I haven't touched the tank role much, but this video applies to that role as well. If you don't know what role you want to play, here is something you should have in mind before you choose. The tanks. The tank is basically the team's captain, so if you feel like you can guide your team even through the most stressful of situations and also make plays that can open the other team's defense so your DPS can have some space to work around, then tank is probably your role.
Hey, J3! Watch out! There's a bug on you! What are you doing?
DPS. Before I start, what the hell is wrong with the fan art of Soldier 76? Half of it is him kissing Reaper or Soldier as a female.
Gotta know exactly who you are. Lord have mercy. We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused.
Don't take me wrong, Soldier 76 as a girl is a welcome surprise, but still, why? The DPS is probably one of the most stressful roles, since if you don't get kills, the team won't be able to advance. This doesn't mean dive every time, but this is one of my first tips. If you're a DPS, focus on kills, not on damage. What I mean by this is that you should focus the supports or DPS, not the tank. This will make it so that you can get more kills, and if the tank isn't getting healed, then the tank is an easier target to kill. The DPS role also asks the player to be thinking quickly and to also be versatile throughout the entire match. Since there are so many heroes in the DPS role, there will always be someone to counter someone else. Support. The support role is for those people who love to make game-changing plays, but also to those players who like to be the unsung heroes of their team. You won't be getting as much praise as the DPS or as the tank, but if it wasn't for you, the team simply wouldn't work. Well, Soldier, what role are you going to pick? If you're going to become the tank of our team, you must be ready to make crucial decisions but also lead your team to victory. But you can also be the DPS, which means you will pick up your weapon and fight for your team. You will also have to be resourceful and quite quick on the drop. But if you want to become the support, then you must know that your deeds will rarely get praise, but because of your actions, the team will prosper. If you accept this role, you will become the team's medic, and God knows we need them. So, now that we have all that cleared up, let me show you what I did after picking my first role, support. I started playing Baptiste and was able to keep my team alive, but in my eyes, that wasn't enough. I wanted to make plays, I needed to be able to defend myself, but also I wanted to show the other team that whenever I play, the team that I'm playing on has the most chances to win. So, are you ready to become a game changer? Let me show you how. Step number 1. This is probably the hardest thing to change, but also the most important one. This is why I have it at the top of the list, your mentality. The thing that you need to change first is your mentality, not how you play, it's your mentality. Yes, I know that some people will say, but my mentality is fine, or there is nothing wrong with my mentality. But let me tell you something, the mentality that people take on this game is what holds them back or makes them stand out. First thing that you need to change about your mentality is that if you lose, it's your fault, and you must own it, even if you did well. What do I mean by this? The most common thing that people will usually say is that owning your defeat in Overwatch doesn't work because you have quitters, leavers, and bad players. And if you're thinking like that, I'm going to give you two options. You change that mentality that is holding you back, or you stay with that mentality and let's see how far it gets you. Have you decided on what mentality you will have? Okay, let's keep going. So, the second thing that you're going to have to change about this new mentality is to take matters into your own hands. Your team will sometimes hit a wall, and this is where I need you to start thinking, and fast. Let's go into this hypothetical situation that happens a lot actually. Your team has a comp of Diva, Ashe, Mei, Mercy, and Senora. The enemy team has a comp of Reinhardt, Soldier, Hanzo, Baptiste, and Ana. Your team is struggling to get on point, and you simply cannot advance. What do? Well, it depends on the role that you're playing, but if you are a DPS, you can do a lot of things. Switch to Bastion and constantly make the Reinhardt think twice before pulling his shield out. Or you can go Tracer and constantly dive the DPS or supports, forcing them to focus on you instead of your teammates or their tank. One small action can have a great impact on the game. Okay, and I know you're probably asking, but what if I'm a tank or support? On tank you can play Doomfist, Ball, Winston, or even Diva to dive the backline of the opposing team and open a lot more space for your team to play around with. For support, it's a bit more tricky, but the support characters have some of the most broken ultimates in the game. So if you can open a fight with a Kiriko ult, a Nano, a Baptiste ult, or Moira's ult, you can give your team a boost of confidence to push in, and that will usually do it. But what I'm saying is that Overwatch is not only about skill, but also about using your head. Step number 2. This goes for any role. Choose a character that you like to main. Found it? Good. Now, what we are going to do is learn the character. You can do this in quick play or in comp, but I'd recommend quick play since if you don't play well, there is little to no harm done. Once you know the core of the character and you know how to use his weapon but also his abilities, what do you do now? This is where I started doing some homework, and if you truly want to improve at an insane pace, this is what you have to do. Look up on YouTube a top 500 player or an insane YouTuber that plays said character. I did this without knowing, but if you watch them play, you learn from them without even noticing. You learn where to position yourself, when to use your abilities, and lots of other things. And that is without you studying said player. If you actually start paying close attention, you will see that great players don't spam every ability they have at the same time, or what they are able to do when someone is constantly applying pressure to them. Here's an example of this. Do you want to learn how to play tanks? Then go and watch Flats. The man is an absolute monster with Reinhardt, but he dominates every tank to perfection. But you can also watch a guide that will give you tips and everything without you having to pay that much attention. And this is another quick tip that I'm gonna give you. This may sound weird, but please don't watch an Overwatch League game to get inspiration. Those games are from the very best, and these players are even better than most top 500s. You will probably never get a level of teamwork and synergy that they have in those games in your normal ranked games. Step number 3. Characters and counters. After you have mastered one character, then I'm going to ask you one thing. Learn at least 2 other heroes. Yes, I know this sounds tedious, but you clicked on this video because you wanted to improve, didn't you? Well, knowing only one character will only make your growth slow down a ton, and this applies to every role. Not only because your teammates can steal that character from you, but sometimes your main is getting completely countered by the enemy team, so you need to switch things up. But trust me, the last thing you want to be is someone that is getting completely countered but doesn't change heroes. This will only ruin your fun and also decrease your chances of winning by a ton. And we have all met that stubborn Widowmaker that is being completely countered by another Widow or by a Sombra, and yet they don't swap because they want to prove that they are better. Well, here's something I learned. If you lose a Widowmaker snipe off a couple of times in a row, it's better to lose that 1v1, but to win the game. But with that out of the way, here's some examples of the counters that every player should know in my opinion. One of the most jarring counters in the supports is the fight between Ana and Kiriko. Since Ana's nade completely nullifies any healing when it hits enemies, it can be a game changer. But Kiriko can simply throw her protection Suzu and remove the anti-healing from Ana. So what do? If you're playing Ana and the other team is playing Kiriko, then you can keep playing Ana, but it will make your job a million times harder. Or you can swap to any other support and start playing with a lot more freedom. The tank role has lots of counters, but I'm going to show you 2. D.Va has a pretty easy counter, which is Zarya. Zarya's laser goes straight through D.Va's matrix and can force her to back away and simply run the risk of getting her mech destroyed. Or another counter is Wrecking Ball and Roadhog. Wrecking Ball is probably one of the most annoying characters to play against, but Roadhog can hug the ball and keep his team and supports safe. The DPS role is probably one of the hardest ones to learn because of the amount of characters it has and all the counters that come with them. So because of that, I will simply go over the most obvious one, because if I don't, I will be here all day explaining each counter. Pharah. Pharah can be a nightmare for characters like Mei, Hanzo, or Junkrat, but she is almost instantly shut down the moment a head scan like Ashe, Soldier, or McCree shows up. Almost every character has a counter, even if the game developers say otherwise. This game has a ton of heroes with counters. You can either learn them from playing, or you can see some videos on it, but please don't do it on TikTok. Do it from a YouTuber that actually knows what he's talking about, since some of the most outlandish counters I've seen have come from TikTok.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
This video took me weeks to make, so if you liked it or found it useful, please let me know down in the comments and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. These 3 steps have helped me in ways you can't even imagine, but there are a lot more tips out there that I didn't even mention. I only went over these 3 since in my eyes those are the ones that helped me out the most. But anyways, if you made it all the way through this video, I truly appreciate you a ton, and if you like this type of content, consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, if you want to get personal coaching, I'll leave my Fiverr link down in the description if you want some help with any type of character. But anyways, thanks for watching this video and I hope you guys found it helpful. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace!